Then moving from Bangalore to Bombay
Oh,
in
yeah.
1985 was a very bold decision.
Uh,
What was that like, that city, for a young musician back then?
because everyone was
And
of
what did those 5 years under Ustad Aslam Khan teach you that no classroom could?
I was very fortunate out here. And another thing about my obsession with music was, every time we would go out to dinner, where my father would take us somewhere where, there would be someone, with the mic and then three musicians or four musicians playing, the drums, guitar. So, I keep telling myself, why can't I be like them? No, very strict. My dad, he said, you are not getting out of the house like this and then singing every day in some restaurant, eating, over there. You will be at home. You listen to music. You sing to your heart's content at home. But that was not what I wanted to do. To me, facing an audience used to give me a high. I always loved interacting with people. I always loved facing an audience and perform.
So, what did those years with Ustad Aslam Khan teach you?
So, uh, around this time, someone who was a great music aficionado, he heard me at someone's house and he said, I'm staying at Hotel Ashoka, room number, so please come over to my room, I'd like to talk to you. And you don't have to worry, I have a harmonium in my room. I said, okay, this man is... So I went there. It turned out to be, he was Aslam Khan Saheb's disciple. And of course he's no more. Very obsessed with music, but he had other things to do in life because he was the managing director of very big public, no, I think it was a private limited, I'm not too sure. Anyway, it's all history, I'm talking about those days. So he said, I would like you to meet this gentleman in Bombay. He's Aslam Khan Saheb, he's my guru. I want you to start training under him. So initially it was some kind of I said I would love to, but Bombay says, हाँ बॉम्बे में लोग लोहे के चने खाते हैं, लेकिन फिर भी वहाँ उनका गुजारा चलता है. I was a little scared because the very thought of leaving the comforts of my home, leaving, my parents obviously. So I said, okay, let me, till then let me, do what I like doing. Strangely, in the same hotel show, I started singing at that Lotus restaurant, and it was a 6 months contract. I will not forget that phase of my life. That was apparently much before I moved to Bombay. This was actually in '84. So 6 months I was there. Let me say, those 6 months over there helped me a lot because every day was a learning day. Mm-hmm. Every day it was just one tabalchi. Unfortunately, he is no more. He had come down from Nagpur, so he would play the tabla. I had just then invested in a new harmonium which I started learning. I said, okay, I will keep the harmonium and then I will play. And another classmate of mine from college, he was the one and only santoor player. He would play this instrument called santoor, which everybody knows, Shiv Kumar Sharma, Pandit Shiv Kumar Sharma. So he used to play the santoor, I used to play the harmonium, and then I used to have a rollicking time every day. Every day we would pick up some new composition. And the audience, we are talking of, lot of Firangs, lot of foreigners who would, stay there. And they would not understand anything, but then They liked the rhythm, they liked melody, and of course there were a sizable number of locals, especially I think the Muslims, and yeah, there were some Marwadis, Gujaratis. So that was how things started for me, you know. And then I started gaining more confidence. Like I told myself, my God, I never had to go to some restaurant and sing. They used to call those places as bar joints. I straight got into a five-star hotel. So it was like a feather in my cap. So that from there it began, and then I moved to Bombay finally. This was 1985 November.
Yeah.
And I was staying with a cousin of mine initially. I mean, he's also no more. A lot of people who journeyed with me in my life, they are no more today. So it was nice, although it was very far. I mean, I stayed in a central suburb called Mulund, but I would commute practically every day to where my Ustad was. And he used to live in a place called Lowalia Tank, near Grant Road Station.
Yes, of course.
So, well, journey began.